Welcome to Triple H, Hamilton Happy Hour, where we talk about pianos, talk about music, and everything else in between. Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Hamilton Happy Hour. We hope everybody's having a good week, and we hope that you've enjoyed our podcast that we have, what we've been doing. We have, once again, Mike and Mike.
Hey everybody.
Hello everybody.
And we also have Mike's wife, Stacy.
Hello everybody.
And Cody with us as our special guest.
Hi everyone.
So you guys had some interesting moves this last week. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, it's been busy.
Yeah, very busy.
We've had, I think, 3 or 4 stair jobs in the last week. They were all kind of crunched into about 3 days, I think.
2 ships.
2 cruise ships, a crane job, and all kinds of wild stuff. So it's season for sure in the piano business. And, everything went off without a hitch. We've had some really difficult jobs, and the 2 of us and Tony and Trevor, everybody's just we're firing on all cylinders. What's that?
I was there for one of them.
Oh, you were?
The flying piano.
Oh, you were holding the
He
camera.
recorded.
Yeah,
That's right.
I held the camera.
Yeah, the flying piano. It's actually getting a little bit of buzz on some of the Facebook pages and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, it's
That was
pretty cool.
Yep.
So if you guys didn't see it, there's one of the crane jobs we did. The piano's going up through the air, and it kind of spins at a certain point, and a couple of the pads on the back are flapping, and it
Looks like a cake.
it's a super
Oh
piano.
wait, that's the one that you put on the cruise ship?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, so that one's getting some buzz, and the video actually that you just posted yesterday too is getting some,
The 1893 Steinway B.
yeah, which we just delivered today, which had a few custom things on it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Slow close fall board on a Steinway.
Yeah,
Never been done.
Yep, really rare, and so no, it's good. It's good. So that's about it. There's not a whole lot in particular, but
Other than, the stair moves. I mean, those are pretty cool. So, but
Yeah, difficult ones, but
we're able to get them taken care of.
we got the dream team here, man. I mean,
For sure.
we really do. So, but we're not here to talk about us.
Nope.
We're here to talk about Cody and Stacy and what you guys do. So tell us a little bit about yourselves and tell us what you do.
Yeah, Stacy, you want to start us off?
Okay. So my name is Stacy Hayden. I'm a Community Resource Navigator with CareerSource Palm Beach County. What I do every day is work with various clients from all different populations to basically address their employment needs. Sometimes there's barriers in the way of them getting a job. So we try to address through special grant funding some of the barriers so that we can remove those barriers so that they can get the job. And I do reporting and stuff like that too, but that's all the boring stuff.
And I'm Cody. I'm the director of operations over at CareerSource Palm Beach County. I think my job is to run around with my hair on fire. I feel like that's what I do all day. So I have a few programs underneath me. But mainly the programs I have are the programs that are designed to engage with those clients right off the bat. And we do that in a few different ways. We'll do outreach, we'll reach out to them, and then we also have a couple locations which they come to us. And our services are, we have quite a variety of different services. We can dive into those. We can even talk about, if you guys want, some of the occupations that we get a lot of requests for. And then we can even talk about some of the skills that a lot of employers are looking for. Whichever direction you guys want to go, I'm here for it.
I bet no one ever asked, I want to be a piano tuner.
That is correct. I've not heard that one yet.
Or a piano mover.
But I'll tell you, if you bring anyone into this shop, it's pretty impressive. That might change someone's mind. Yeah, you guys have some really cool stuff here.
Thank you. Yeah, and the thing is for us, we are so busy that we do need more help. We do. So keep that in mind. But my way of hiring somebody, just in my opinion, is if they're ripe. RIPE, responsible, intelligent, professional, and either experienced or educated. The reason for that is because the 3 that they have, the RIP, they have to have. I can teach the experience or the education, but they have to at least have that part of it for us. The reason for that is because it's so hard. There's so many times, and it's not just here. I've heard it from numerous piano rebuilding shops that, or even technicians, they train someone, and they're gone. And 3 months later, and it's gone. So at least having that part of it, if they're responsible, they're going to show up. Yeah. If they're intelligent, they're going to be able to grasp onto something quick. And if they're professional, they're going to take care of business like they, like what a lot of companies need pretty much. It doesn't matter if it's Walmart, Target, Amazon, whatever it is. Those are the factors that I think are good attributes that someone needs to have to, for an employer to look at.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And I would go so far as to say there's a lot of employers on the same page as you. I know right now the big buzzword are soft skills. And I think we just mentioned are a few of the popular ones that a lot of employers are looking for, myself included. I always say that what I'm looking for is someone that has a good attitude and wants to be here, really wants to help. I can teach anyone Microsoft Outlook or this program or that program.
Not this guy. All right. Sorry, Stacy.
I can teach. I can teach almost anyone except for Mike here. Pretty close.
She starts to teach me how to turn the laptop on.
You just got a new phone, so that was a nightmare.
Start with the phone. Little baby step away there. This is what a computer is. But that attitude will get you there. If you have a positive attitude and you want to be there, I think that'll take you a long ways. You hear that phrase, fake it till you make it, right? And a lot of times that's kind of a dangerous phrase to use, but I think it's often skill that is used. And what I mean by that is, whenever you start into that new business, that new company, you're the new guy or girl, you really feel like, whether it be true or not, you really feel like you don't know anything, right? You really feel like you're trying to, and I hope no one finds out. I don't really know what I'm doing here. I'm just trying to, but if you have that, that's okay, because what's important, this is what I think is important, is do you have that attitude? Do you want to learn? Are you engaged? Are you asking questions? And I think that'll take you a long ways.
And I think there's a huge difference between a mom and pop operation and corporation. Absolutely. There's such a big variety between the two. So like with us here, with people that are mostly everybody that we have hired is still here. There have been
that's awesome.
Yeah, there have been people that it just didn't work out for one way or another.
That's anywhere. Right?
Yeah, right.
Even the best companies in the world have turnover.
Right. But and have been here for a while. We're talking over 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. So some of the people here I've known for 30 years. So it's when it's that type of a family business, I think it kind of is easier to get past certain things, because you don't just look at them as an employee, you look at them as your friend. Now there's also that fine line you got to be between the two. So, but sometimes you got to be the boss or the employer, or sometimes you can be, hey, I'm your friend. What's wrong? Is everything okay? What can I do to help? And that's a big difference, I think, between that.
Yeah, and I would go so far. I think that's a testament to the work environment you've created. So a lot of businesses struggle to compete with the wages, right? Everyone always hears, well, as soon as they find out this person's paying $1 more, they're gone. But I think there's a big change coming, or rather has already came, and that a lot of employers are looking at creating a positive work environment. And so I know that's what we try to do, because we are a nonprofit organization. There is no way we're going to be able to compete with wages. And so what can we do? Yeah. And so, that's one thing we really look at. We really listen to our employees when when they have an issue they're bringing up, a concern they're bringing up. That's paramount. So much so that I think the way I look at it is I work for Stacy. I know that, I'm her boss or whatever, but
I report to this guy, but when I need something, I go to him and say, hey, I'm not happy about this. I need this. What can we do?
And I think it's important that I listen to her, because if I don't, then that's going to domino into bad news for everyone. Right. Her life's going to be miserable. No one's listening to her now. Now she feels ignored. Now she feels like she's on an island, and now she's probably going to leave. Mm-hmm. And then where is the company? Whereas all I had to do is just listen and put some effort. Mm-hmm. So,
and it's funny too, because, you know, there's a lot of times, I mean, I'm sure you have a lot of people that come to you with certain things. And like with me, it comes to me and I have to pick and choose what I'm going to deal with and what I'm not going to deal with. Because most of the time I don't deal with it because it worked itself out. You know, it just works itself out. And it's just like, or I have to say, don't worry about it, forget it, and we move on. You know, whether it's dealing with personality issues or, you know, something with a job or whatever, sometimes you just have to put it on the back burner and pick your battles, you know.
And prioritize.
That. Right. And, you know, but, I mean, we here are extremely fortunate with the crew that we have. Like I said earlier, the dream team, I'm not kidding. We were talking about it, well, I think it was yesterday, about the stair moves, and you were like, man, these stair moves are just going so smooth and so good. And it's because we got the right people, you know, and everybody knows what to do. And even the customer you guys did it for the other day, he's had several pianos moved, and he said he's never had a crew as good as you guys.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's because you guys are RIPE. That's it. That's the thing. I mean, you have to be that in order to get the job done right. It was kind of funny because we have waivers that we have signed for special moves, and this customer did not want to sign it. And I'm like, listen, this is a difficult move. If this happens, blah, blah, blah. So I amended it to accommodate him for at least the stairs part of it, because they were Italian tile. And you know, if there's a loose tile and it cracks, you can't get it anymore. We're not going to be responsible when we're putting a 700-pound piano up these steps. So he signed it, but everything was flawless. You know, it was just that precaution, that what if. You know, you have to have that what if in life, in anything. You get into a car, if you don't have insurance is for that what if moment. You know, what if this happens? So, but it's just life. But yeah, no, we're very fortunate with the crew that we have. You guys, I'm sure, would agree to that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, let me ask you this: did your crew come out of the package that way? So, in other words, like when you first hired them, were they this good? But the point I'm making is, you know, that one thing, I think that's a testament to your training them, right? So whenever you hire these individuals, they don't come with this level of precaution, this level of knowledge, you know, what to do in this situation. But now they do, and I don't think that was by accident.
And that's where, you know, like I was saying with Hayden, he did, because he had over 30 years piano moving experience. And my guys, you know, I taught them the way I was taught from my father, and I'm a piano tuner, so
Hayden, it's the tuner's way,
not the piano mover way. Not that anything ever was wrong, and we didn't do any. You know, everything was right. It was great. It just wasn't his way. so
it was the wrong way. Oh, okay, I understand. It wasn't the Hayden way.
It wasn't the Hayden way. It was the Hamilton way before Hayden came on board. But yeah, you know, so, and it's also too, when you are showing someone something, how to do anything, no matter what it is, the patience you have to know you're going to make a mistake. Expect it. Yeah. Expect that that's going to happen, because it's going to happen. Okay, now you know, don't do that again, you know, and move on. So, you know, you have to have that whenever you're training somebody in anything. Like for us, it's stringing, player systems, soundboards, pinbox, whatever it is. And know that mistake can be corrected as long as we know about it. You know, it can't be too late after the fact. And that's why I think everybody's so laid back here. And I mean, the camaraderie here is fantastic. I'm not just saying that because it's our shop. I'm saying it because it really is. We laugh all day long. We have such a great time here, and we all get along. And we're like a big happy family. So, and it's because of the camaraderie, and because everybody feels a sense of not just pride being here, but a sense of family with everybody else. Yeah. When someone's not in a good mood, we try to make them laugh. You know,
I love that.
You know, it's that part of it, right? You know.
Yeah. Well, and I can just attest to that too with Mike Hayden. That is.
Yeah, here's just Hayden, really. Yeah, on the podcast we were Mike's, but within the shop, it's just Hayden.
Because even though he had somewhat of a family type environment with his last employer that he was with for many years, he ended up being down south running the show on his own. So he never really got that feeling of family business or working for a family.
Yeah, and it was a family business.
Right.
But I was on an island.
You were on an island by yourself down in South Florida while
Yeah.
they're all up in Sanford. And you're down here. And now that you're here at Hamilton Piano, you've got that family again. You have somewhere to go to report to every day. You enjoy the people you work with.
Yeah.
You enjoy staying here, even if you have to stay late,
Yep.
which I know is all the time, but
Well, we all have each other's back.
Right.
That's the key. I always tell everybody, if you can't fix it, call me, and if I can't fix it, I'll find somebody that can. It's one way or the other. It's going to get fixed. And I think the reason why I'm like that is because when I first got into the business, I'm a piano tuner, and I came across this piano that had a problem. I had no clue how to fix it. I had no understanding as to why this was happening. And I called my father in, and he was retired because he had gotten sick and he couldn't work anymore. But he came with me to this appointment, and he goes, in 35 years of being a piano tuner, this never happened to me, but I know how to fix it, because your computer up here, the hardest part is finding out what's wrong. Once you know what's wrong, your computer up here is going to tell you exactly how to fix it. It's just trying to find out what's wrong first. So you do that. So I learned that from my dad, where it's like, he goes, well, you see, this is what's happening. So in order to fix this the right way, this is what we need to do. Yeah. Told the customer. It was a very extensive job. It was very, very extensive. And the customer agreed to it. My dad and I took the action out, and he showed me how to do it. And we had to take everything off the rail because the rail was split. So nothing was working properly on this vertical piano. But my dad taught me that. And just figuring out what's wrong, whether it's, what's going on with somebody personally or with a job, is taking an interest in that. Everybody wants to feel like they're being noticed one way or the other, whether it's being accommodated for their work or just, every morning hey, how you doing? Happy, good morning. It's always like that here. Yeah. Hey, fist bump, and at the end of the day, it's the same way. And if every company, in my opinion, was like that, a lot of people would probably stay with companies.
I agree. And Stacy heard me say this a lot of times to a lot of different people. A smile goes a long way.
Yeah.
And I say this and because it's difficult sometimes. And sometimes I'll say this to people that we all have stuff going on in our life. We are all human. But when we show up to that door, it's game time. Right. So we got to put our game faces on. And Stacy's and I and my in our industry, we're very customer facing. So we engage with these customers. We're speaking to them, and so when we're engaged with these individuals, I think it's very important that our attitude is positive, right. That we have that positive demeanor, because for the most time, and Stacy can probably attest to this, the people that we're talking to, they're having a bad time. They're not.
Almost exclusively, right?
Yeah. No one's coming to CareerSource because they're having a great day.
And they don't come to thank us either.
No. It is, they're coming there because life punched them in the face, and they're looking for help. And a lot of people struggle to really properly focus that frustration. And what I mean by that is oftentimes our staff get the brunt of their frustration. We're the face of their frustration. And so that makes it very difficult for our staff. All the more reason to, and this is the thing I wanted to point out, you said this, when an issue happens, when a problem occurs, how you react to that is paramount. Mm-hmm. So when a problem happens, I have two choices. I can say what I really want to say and create more problems. Or B, and this is what you were saying, I can ask questions. Mm-hmm. I can try to find out what it is, stay calm, because in my position, people are going to feed off my energy. So if I'm nervous, if I'm freaking out, if my hair is on fire, Now Stacy's nervous. Now Stacy thinks, oh no, if Cody's losing his mind, we're in trouble here. So
suck it up, Buttercup.
Right. Yeah,
it rolls downhill.
and that's it. And now she's freaking out, and then everyone around here's freaking, and so we're all losing our. So yeah. So I thought you brought up a really good point. When those problems occur, let's stay calm. Let's figure it out. We'll get through this. It's not the end of the world. Right. No one's gonna die. This isn't the military. So
not national security. Right?
That's right. So we're going to be fine, and we'll work our way through it. And asking questions, like you said, I think that's the best way to get to it.
My famous line I always say in those situations is a problem is just an opportunity for a solution. Right?
I like that.
So it's okay. Well, here we are. We got to get past whatever we're at right now. We got to move on to the solution part.
You also like to say, not with that attitude.
That's true too. I do like that one.
Love that. Yeah.
I hear that all the time.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
It's not a show just for you guys.
I like the one plug along as if nothing's wrong.
Yeah. That's right.
And you kind of have to, like you were saying, I've noticed it with me. If I'm in a bad mood or I'm just not happy or something, which
we all notice.
Yeah, I'm sure you do because I don't hide it very well.
That's when you ask the questions.
Yeah. That's when but I do notice the demeanor is a little,
Hayden, time to go.
Right.
And the demeanor, and that's because as the captain of the ship, I'm the one that's in control of everybody's mood for that day, or week or however long, even though someone may have a bad mood, and we try to get it out of them, and make them laugh or whatever. But yeah, as the captain of the ship, you're steering this boat, yacht or cruise ship or whatever you want to call it.
I like yacht. Let's go with that.
Let's go with yacht. Yeah. Never have one, but I
We're
just
in Palm
tuned
Beach
one.
County.
I pretend.
I just tuned on one the other day.
Nice.
Those are
This
those are
is
nice.
your yacht.
Yeah, right. It just doesn't float anywhere. But you have to be that that way so that, and I've noticed it with myself where in the morning, if I'm grumpy or whatever, I'm like, okay, if you're gonna be grumpy here, you're gonna make everybody else grumpy. You don't want to do that. So kind of just chill out a little bit as best as I can.
You seem to do pretty good with that because I think I'm typically one of the first people to see you in the morning, and I can tell.
Yeah.
But it seems like by the time more people start coming in, you kind of are good at filtering that away most of the time, I think.
Well, and I think it's because the more you're surrounded by family, whether it's blood or not, we are family. You start, it's when Trevor comes to me and says, hey, like he, wanted to be double checked over what he was doing. I'm like, dude, you're doing a great job. He's like, well, how are these seams? I said, man, that's awesome. So it takes me out of my funk. Because I'm concentrating on what I'm doing with other people, which is good, So and it's a two-way street with that. It should be the same way, where if someone's in a funk, and sometimes when someone's in a funk, I'm like, you all right today? What's going on?
I like that.
Just to you don't have to tell me if you don't want to, but actually it's kind of better if you do because then you get it out of you.
But you acknowledged it.
Right.
And I think that's important.
Right.
I think that alone goes a long way.
I also acknowledge when people are late to work, and when we're having a meeting, I'm like, it's 8:35.
I have acknowledged this,
and you all know who I'm talking about. Someone's gonna edit this out of the.
There was a part there. I know it was there.
You said another thing that you keep bringing up these really good points that I don't think a lot of leadership does this, and that's positive feedback. I think what I mean by that is I've worked for a lot of people, and a lot of the bosses that I've had just assume that I know that I'm doing a good job.
Yeah.
And so
and it's expected.
Right. Yeah. And I think now I don't know if I'm just speaking for myself or if there's a lot of people in this boat, but I think it's important that you remind them that they're doing a good job, that when they do a good job, you tell them, even if it's something that you think is minor or minuscule, or this is their job, this is what I pay them to do. Okay, but were they good at it? Mm-hmm. You should probably let them know.
All right. Compliment goes a lot further than a complaint.
Yeah.
Bingo.
You could give 10 complaints to somebody. You give them one compliment, all those complaints are just it's gone.
That's right.
It's just the way it is, because we all want to be appreciated for something.
Right.
Whether it's, someone did the dishes or did a good job, on
Did you do the
doing
dishes?
something.
He did not do the dishes.
Good job,
That's what I'm
Toby.
saying. If I did, my wife would be like, So, but we have a dishwasher for a reason. His name is Brandon.
I thought it was a dog.
But that goes so much further than the complaints. We're all going to complain. There's so much for a human to complain about in this world.
Mm-hmm.
But when you compliment somebody for something, those complaints actually they disappear to that person.
Now I'll go the counter. When someone makes a mistake, how do you handle that? I think that's important too.
So it comes down to the experience that they have. Yeah. I will say there's one in particular where I won't mention any names. Someone was putting parts together and the screw was too long and it went through the side of the piano.
Oh, that wasn't you.
That sounds bad.
Why'd you automatically think this was about me?
I thought it was the pianist.
It was a big mistake.
So I assumed you screamed belligerently.
No. So
You wanted to, though.
I wasn't happy about it, but at the same time, it was an honest mistake.
Right.
You know what I mean?
There you go.
So I explained, to keep this from ever happening again, you make sure that screw that you put we have the piano wire. Use the piano wire to go through, because if you don't know exactly what that screw is, which you should, but he was new at that point. So I said, you put the piano wire through, you mic it with the string, to measure it to how long it is. And if that screw's longer than that wire, it's not going to go. Mm-hmm. We can fix anything. So we can fix the mistake. He was beating himself up more than I was beating him up. And that's when someone does that. And that's how most of us are here. I would say all of us are like that. We beat ourselves up more than somebody else has to do it. So you just take the step back and say, it's all right. It's okay. Yeah. It's an honest mistake. It's going to happen. Now, when it comes to mistakes that shouldn't happen, that's a little bit different story. I'm still pretty, cool, calm, and collective about it, but I don't like it. I will say that. But it's just, we are imperfect, and that's just the way that it is. We're going to make mistakes. Like forgetting to take a piano to a customer's home.
Some assembly required.
Yeah. That did happen once.
Well, that's so good, and I'm no.
I had to throw that in there. I'm sorry.
Well, he's been dropping little nibbles to pick up on this.
A little passive aggressive.
That's how you're like.
I've been getting too many compliments so far in this podcast.
We got to keep that ego in check.
Exactly. I bring you up, then I kind of bring you down.
But you're not that great.
Yes, I am.
I tell people when
got that.
when they make those mistakes, and they get upset
It
about
is
it.
so
I tell them, I look at them and I go, I'm glad that bothers you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad it upsets you, because that tells me that you care.
Right.
This matters to you.
Right.
And I can work with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can work with that.
If most genuine people are going to beat themselves up before anybody else is going to over a mistake. And when you show compassion for that, instead of just throwing more and more rocks on top of that boulder that they've already put on their shoulders, and you're not making making it any better.
Nope.
And it was kind of funny, because this was a long time ago. We did a like everybody had to pick someone's name out of a hat and write what they liked about that person. It was like this.
I remember that.
Yeah, remember? I think Aunt
Yeah.
Rosie came up with that or something like that. And so they did. And so that person that I'm talking about,
I like when they're not around. Can I turn this in? Perfect.
So that mistake that we were talking about earlier,
Yeah.
we were the partners, right? And he wrote, "I like how patient you are and not overbearing," or something like that. You're just calm about mistakes and things like that. Well, that's because of how that situation was. You're going to, like, I beat myself up all the time. I mean, all the time. Like, all the stuff that I build here, I know all the imperfections in it.
Most high achievers do, actually.
Well, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
But it's one of those things where, if someone's already beating themselves up, now you got to bring them back up.
Yeah.
You don't let them keep bringing themselves down. You got to kind of bring them back up one way or the other, whether it's just giving them a compliment on that very next thing that they did, or a pat on the shoulder or something. Because if you don't do that, you're making the situation worse.
Yeah, you get stuck in a rut, and then if somebody else is just continuing to hammer you, you're just going to get further and further in that rut. Whereas if you had somebody complimenting you or telling you you're doing a great job or whatever it may be, it definitely helps.
It makes you feel like that,
you
can do nothing right. You know, I mean,
That's it.
so
Yeah.
And we're as humans, we're all supposed to be lifting people up, not pushing them down.
that's right.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'll give you a situation. So I think it was yesterday. There was a beat up luggage bag at our front door. Okay, so obviously someone had put it there. We don't know if they were homeless or whatnot, and this and that. So it had rained. It was all soaking wet and this and that. So I had to do a concert tuning, and I came back, and my wife and I went out there we were talking about throwing it away. And my wife says, if this is all that this person has, and there was some medication in there too. So then we're like,
Which I like the way she handled that. I mean, that was just awesome.
That was perfect.
So she goes, if this is all that this person has in the world, we should just save it.
Yeah.
So that's what we did.
I love that.
I picked everything up, put it all together. We put it off to the side of the building. And my wife ended up calling the police to let them know because there was medication in there. We didn't want, a child to get it. Right. We found out the situation with the person, and they came later that day and got it.
Nice.
Good.
So it was the right thing to do. My wife and I were planning on throwing it away until she came up with that idea. And I was like, that's fine. So we put it off to the side. Yeah. And whether they keep it or not or whatever, it's up to them. But we didn't want to take the last thing that someone may have and just throw it away when that's everything to them. And
right.
And everything they have left.
Honestly, it's nothing to us. It's not our stuff.
Yeah.
But when we saw the medication, then and we found out that the medication was for somebody that's bipolar. So we're
very
really
important.
Right.
yeah.
We're really
Absolutely.
glad that we didn't throw it away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're really glad that I wasn't in charge of this.
It would have been the garbage.
Hey, don't say that. You're the one that gives money out at the stoplights off the highway.
He does.
So
That's very true.
and
Yes, he
food
does.
and whatnot.
I can't stand garbage in our front yard, though.
Well, we obviously CareerSource Palm Beach County, the name Career is in it for a reason. We're here to help people with employment. But one of the things that we really try to get the message out is we're no wrong door. So you may be coming in looking for employment assistance, but if you're sitting in my office and you're telling me you're homeless, you're sleeping in your car or at a park, there might be things that we can do to address those immediate needs in addition to helping them get a job.
Yeah.
The solution a lot of times is employment, but obviously there's a lot of barriers in the way of being able to get a job. Mm-hmm. But in order to remove those barriers, you need a job.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have to be willing to do things that you may not want to do, but it's not forever. It's just temporary.
Correct.
It's a stepping stone.
That's right. And I think that's very important for people to remember. I had a conversation with an individual not too long ago, and he asked me, how long is this going to last? I go, that's not the question you should ask. What you need to focus on is never stop fighting, because it's going to end. No one can give you a date, but it's going to stop. You just got to keep fighting. And now let's talk about a plan. And so we went down that route. But to Stacy's point, we do get a lot of individuals who, man, they just got dealt a bad hand. Bad luck is very real, and it happened to them. Now, we also deal with some individuals that are very good at coming up with excuses why they can't employ. And that's one thing that I pride myself on. I am very good at systematically removing your excuses. And CareerSource has empowered me to do that through all these grants and fundings and programs that I have, and people like Stacy that have huge hearts bigger than that building. So I'm very.
He's building me up. Are you going to knock me down a little bit later?
Yeah, no, I'll beat you down tomorrow. Yeah, no,
How do you deal with time deficiency?
emails faster. No, but if someone comes in, well, I would work, but I can't afford the tools, so I can buy those tools for you. I would work, but I don't have enough gas to get. Nope, I can get you a gas card. I don't have a car, bus pass. Mm-hmm. What else you got?
Right.
Childcare, not a problem. I got you.
Time deficiency.
I got you. Let's go. Like, we will come up with a plan. We have a solution for the vast majority of excuses.
We need to talk some more.
Well, and that even includes people with criminal backgrounds.
That's right.
We have solutions for people with criminal backgrounds even.
Yeah, but the key is the thing that people have to remember is that you have to work. When you're unemployed, your job is to find a job. So 8 hours a day, if you're not looking for employment 8 hours a day, you are hurting yourself. If you're sitting
8
at your
hours
home,
a day?
oh, sir, that's your job.
Yeah. Right.
If you don't have a job, your job is to look for a job.
Waiting for someone, a headhunter or a CareerSource to call you, or a random employer that just happened to find you on LinkedIn, you're hurting yourself.
Right.
I tell my career consultants that we need to empower them, show them how they can, like you said, or very close to it. You can give them, how's it go? How's the saying go? You can teach them, or you can give them a fish, or teach them how to fish. Something to that effect. Right. Yep. So that's what we try to do, and then I leave them with this. The career consultant should not be working harder than the person looking for a job.
Right. Right, because you have so many other people you have to help. It's not just that one person.
That's
right. And an old friend of mine a long time ago said, we all have responsibility to clothe, feed, and shelter ourselves.
That's right.
That's what we have to do for ourselves. Now, for those of us that have families, it's our responsibility to do that with our families. But if you don't, those are your three things that you are supposed to take care of for yourself. You don't need to have a car to have a job. You don't need to have tools to have a job. There's certain things you do not have to have to be able to get those things that are necessities. Your needs need to be met first, and your wants come second. We've talked about that before, I believe. And that's what I told my kids. I said, you're fortunate because your needs are met.
Yeah.
You get your wants, but as an adult in the real world, you don't get your wants until your needs are met. Because if you go wanting a PlayStation but you need to pay your rent and you get the PlayStation, well, you just screwed up because you got your wants in front of your needs. You need to get your needs first. And then if you have leftover stuff, then you get your wants, as long as you plan for the future that way. And that's what we have to do.
And I'll say this to all those individuals out there that are struggling, that are having a hard time finding that job, paying those bills, that are in that struggle. I tell you that you have an advantage over those who have never seen struggle. And here's what I mean by that. Real simply, struggle builds character. If you go your whole life and everything's on a silver platter, you're going to be one type of person. But if you go your whole life and you fought for everything you had and you've gone through struggles, you now have perspective. And so the next time something terrible happens to you, you can remember that one time when life was a lot harder, when you didn't have shoes, when you didn't have that roof, when you didn't have food. You remember that time. And that is character, that is strength. You are now a stronger person. And so to that point, I pity the Kardashians. That's a whole family. They don't even know what struggle is, man.
They are entertaining, though.
They are absolutely fun to watch them live this very unique fantasy life.
But you're right, because the people, there's when it comes to the wealthy, there's two types. The ones that earned it and made it their way, or the ones that received it.
That's right.
And those different types appreciate it differently. Because when you're busting your ass and you're working every day and you're sweating, you're doing this and working 2-3 jobs, to pay the bills, and then you end up, moving up into the corporation or come up with an idea and it makes you wealthy, you still appreciate that. and they also appreciate the people that are working for them because they've been there, done that.
That's it.
The other side of the coin, they don't. So they don't, because they don't understand what those people have gone through in life to get to that point, but they do, Yep.
I think some of my worst leaders, maybe I'm wrong on this, but I think that some of my worst leaders are the worst leaders I've had because they never had struggle. Mm-hmm. Or maybe it's just a coincidence.
I would agree with that, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to hit the lotto to receive mine.
I'm ready to get past the struggle stuff. What do we?
We had enough of that.
Yeah,
and help others.
And wealth is also different for everybody.
There it is.
It's whether it's money in the bank, the love from your family, the amount of cars you have, boats, toys. I mean, it's all different. A wealthy person, I think we are all wealthy sitting here at this table because
100%.
We're happy, healthy, and we may not have millions of dollars in the bank, but we've got each other and we have a loving family. So money can't buy that. So it doesn't really matter how much money you have. That's just that. Yeah, it's nice to be able to have that yacht, or Porsche or whatever you like. Yeah. But it's not everything in the world,
Yeah, those are just fancy toys.
Yeah.
Those are fun. Those are fun, but those are short-lived.
And they break down just like everything else.
They do, but always goes back to that. What is it? Money doesn't buy happiness, and then someone always responds with, "Yeah, but I've never seen someone frowning on a jet ski." But those are temporary.
I definitely have. Mm-hmm. The one that fell off.
Well, one thing that I say is that a bad day on the boat is still a good day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, but you said it, it's really, it's that feeling in your heart. It's the family that you have, and if you go to work, you're there for 8 hours a day. I think it's very important that the people you're working with matter to you. And make you feel good.
Right.
And that's one thing I always try to remember is that when you leave someone, when you leave a conversation or a group of people, they're rarely going to remember anything particular that you said, but they're absolutely going to remember how you made them feel. Mm-hmm. And I think you got to remember that.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, what else is there?
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, really, are you going to go home and be like, I'm so glad I beat that guy down, and I browbeat him.
Man, my ego's baked now. I feel great. Yeah.
You're going to sit there and be like, man, I'm so glad that I said this to him and he just lit up and he was just so happy the rest of the day. That's what you're going to remember, unless you're just a real jerk, and you like to beat people down. I mean, you have to. And that's the thing here is that anybody knows that they can come to anybody here and talk to them, no matter how severity the situation can be, personally or not, or business related. We deal with it too with customers. I can tell you so many stories from customers that I know a lot. And then a lot of my customers, we've been taken care of for 20, 30 years. We take care of the kids' piano now, and about 20 years ago, customers were saying, "Oh, your grandfather used to tune my piano," and I'd find his card in their piano. So
your uncle,
my uncle and my dad, and it's that repetitiveness where we're very thankful that we have such loyal customers, and the fact that their kids now do it. Now, of course, since COVID, a lot changed. A lot of people moved, things like that. But the reputation that they had was, I can tell you, when my dad would go into the Kravis Center, all the stage, "Hey, Reggie, how you doing?" They just loved seeing him, When my uncle went in, not that my uncle was a bad guy. He wasn't. He was just, "I need everybody to be quiet so I can tune the piano." My dad just went in and did his job. It was just two different personalities. Both great people. It was just two opposite ends of their personalities. But that's just how they were, and I got the best of both worlds in the sense of I learned what I could from my uncle before he passed away, and I learned from my dad. My uncle was great at this, my dad was good at this, and you combine it. But you take also what you learn from, okay, well, people loved my uncle, but, hearing that, he would, everybody be quiet on stage. I don't want to be that guy.
Right.
I want to be the guy that every time they see me, hey, Reggie, how you doing? Hey, Toby, how you doing? I would
Party on, Garth.
Yeah. Okay, Wayne. Yeah. I would go to concerts, and the security guy or one of the stations goes, "You're Reggie's son, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they said, "I could tell just by the way you look." And I'm like, "Oh, thanks. Okay. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but thanks." But also the way I was on stage was the way my dad was. You know, it was just, I'm here to do a job, and if you're gonna play, do whatever you got to do, you're there to do a job. I'm not here to interrupt you. I know you're interrupting me because you're blaring music, but at the same time, so I stop, and if I got to stop for 5 minutes, I stop for 5 minutes. Yeah. But it just comes down to the personality that you have to have in everyday life with every situation, with what you guys do, with what we do, with our customers, with moving pianos, with me, with tuning them, with you dealing with people for employment. It's just life.
Yeah, no. So I guess in short, I guess what we should really be, the message is don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Right?
Kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that
Why
covers
so much
it all.
better, right? In a nutshell.
Yeah. When somebody's down, help them up. Because one day you're going to be down, and one day you're going to be wishing someone's going to help you up.
Yeah,
and if you're a good-hearted person, you'll have those people around you to help you up. If you're a
That's it.
stay down there.
That's
you know?
it. Yeah.
Go hang out with the other bag of dicks.
Yeah, I think I've actually, ironically, I've learned most lessons from the worst bosses that I've had. They've taught me exactly what I never want to be or do to people or speak to people. And so I've learned a lot from those. But once again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier, perspective.
Right.
I have that.
Yep. And I've heard of other people that have told me people that they've worked for before in the past too, and it's the same thing. It's like, really, that guy was like that? I mean, it's why I think it just comes down to what's deep down inside you.
Yeah, absolutely. And and I'll go. I want to say this too. For all those who look across the street and they see that company that's willing to pay that $1 more, I think you need to consider one more thing, and that is exactly what we've been talking about today, and that is the work environment. Mm-hmm. Are you willing to give that up? What are the odds of that place across the street having the same work environment? The reason why I say that is because I don't know how many times I've had staff leave for quote unquote greener pastures, that $1, $2, $10 more an hour. And then a lot of them call me,
Can I come back?
There it is. And I can't. And I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. I
Already
can't.
filled.
Yeah. Because that's a bad precedent, but that's a whole nother story. But
Right.
yeah. So
Everybody thinks the grass is greener on the other side.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And everybody,
trap.
I think it's human nature to think like, oh man, look at that guy driving that Lamborghini or Ferrari. I'd like to have one of those. Well, maybe if you actually got in one, it's not that comfortable for you.
Yeah.
So it comes down to, it doesn't really mean that the grass is greener on the other side when you don't know the other problems that are going on in the house where that grass is.
Yep.
Just because the outside looks great, don't judge a book by its cover. The inside, it could be torture in there.
Rent it.
there you go.
All right. Yeah. Could do that too.
Yeah. Just try on being rich.
Yeah, right.
That was nice. Time to put that back.
So
That's good for a day.
Where are you guys located exactly?
So we are in two locations. One West Palm Beach, right on Belvedere Road. So if you look underneath, if you see the air traffic control tower in Palm Beach International Airport, we're right underneath it.
Okay.
The other place is in Belglade. And there it is.
Yeah.
On Main Street.
Yeah.
Okay.
Main Street.
So, but hey guys, it's been great having you on. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And if anybody needs to get employment, you know where to go now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to us. We can get you their contact. Or do you want to tell it?
Yeah, put your
contact?
stuff out there.
I'll tell them our website. So if you're looking for us, you can find all the services we do, our location, everything you need. Just go to CareerSourcePBC.com. So it's CareerSource PBC is in Palm Beach County. careersourcepalmbeach.com, and on there you'll also I would recommend going to our events calendar, because on there, if you're looking for a job, you're going to see hiring events, job fairs, and then I'll even go this far. One last little plug. If you don't know how to build a resume, if you've never done an interview, if you're not even, should I wear pants in an interview? If you're confused by this, go to our interview course. We can tell you all types of tips, to include wearing pants.
But the sign says no shoes, no shirt, no service. It doesn't say anything about pants.
That's true. Well, no shoes, no shirt, no job. I think that's how yeah. So, but yeah, CareerSourcePBC.com, and all of our services are at zero cost.
Nice.
Right.
Very nice.
And we also come to you. So if you have a difficult time physically coming to our office, a lot of the things that we do offer, like our resume workshop, our interview workshop, some of our events, they're done virtually. So for those that might have transportation issues, we can come to you too.
You guys are a huge asset for Palm Beach County.
Thank you.
I mean,
For the
Absolutely.
best kept secret.
Yeah. Well, let's try to. We need viewers to to really put this out there. I mean, because that really there's so many people that need to, whether they're in between jobs or they're having bad luck or whatever, they really need you guys. I mean, so very good work. I mean, and everybody, you need to call them if you need that.
Yeah, we got a building full of people who care. Just come on down.
I've said it for a long time, and I truly love what I do, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. But a lot of times, Stacy comes home with stories of stuff she's doing to help people, and I'm completely jealous. Like she's making a difference. You guys are making a difference in people's lives. I'm just enjoying what I do, and we're bringing music and all that. So and that's a wonderful thing too. I'm not discrediting that, but you guys are changing lives for people. Yeah. On a daily basis.
Yeah, you're married to a hero.
I know.
She's literally saved lives. So.
Me and the flying piano.
There was the one time, this was for another company that you were with, but the gentleman that you got a job who's deaf and blind.
Right.
Yeah.
You know that story? You familiar with that story?
Pieces.
That is just something that, it brought me to tears, many times.
And he's still working.
And is he still working there?
He's still working there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Little plug for Marshall's, TJ Maxx, Home Goods.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, this guy's been there. So that's been how long now?
Nice.
Well, I've been with CareerSource 6.5 years.
It's got to be 8 years.
So I left after I knew he was employed. That was my goal, was to stick around until he got a job. I worked for another company after that for a couple of years, so it's probably been close to 10 years.
Yeah. Wow.
I did not know this story, actually. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, so older gentleman, had really good ability to use his hands, build furniture, and worked with an agency to find employment, and was with the agency for 3 years. His file, because this is back when we still had paper files, was literally this thick. Of case notes and just all the things that were done, like this thick. So the first time I met him, it brought tears to my eyes, and I said, okay, that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
And that was my goal, was to get him a job. And then once he got a job, that was the easy part. The hard part was getting him acclimated and the staff acclimated with him. So once I knew everything was good, he was where he needed to be. He didn't need anybody interpreting for him anymore. I said my goodbyes and moved on.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That is freaking awesome.
I'm glad she did, because now she works here. So.
Absolutely.
And now I have, anytime we do a success story and it's printed, I'll print it out on nice laminated paper and put it in a frame, and it's up in my office. That way other clients that come in can see the success stories to get inspiration.
Yeah, we're not checking boxes. We're actually trying to help you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's needed.
Yeah.
It's such a necessity, not just in Palm Beach County. I mean, all over the world. But
100%.
but the right here and right now is you guys doing what you're doing, and that's to be commended up and down. I mean, really, really, that's fantastic. I didn't know that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
Like I said, we're no wrong door.
Yeah.
We're focused on employment. The goal of everything that we do with everybody that walks in the door is employment. But obviously there's steps to getting and achieving that.
Yeah. So when someone comes into your door and says, "Hey, I want to be a piano tuner," send them our way. Okay.
I got the job.
So we need to get a job order from you.
Watch out.
Or a piano mover, you know. So, but yeah, no, that's fantastic. I'm so glad you guys were on. This
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having
Thank you
us.
very much.
You're very welcome. And please, if you're looking for a job, reach out to them. We thank you very much for following us. We hope we like this podcast. We have more coming up, of course. And everybody, please follow us on Facebook and YouTube and every other platform that we're at. Yep. Spotify. And we may end up having a Hamilton Happy After Hours podcast. You know. Yeah, that's the bloopers. That's all the stuff that Jordan edits out. That we get
all the good stuff.
All the good stuff that we got to put back in.
Blast of that. Hamilton after hours.
After hours. But thank you, everybody, and follow us, and we appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in to Triple H Hamilton Happy Hour. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.